Okay, we are back. Today we're gonna look at the top four, no, sorry, the top five strongest characters in One Piece. And this is an updated video. So, as always, I'm gonna link the original in the description. My to Before we see the video, I think it's best if I provide my top five. I assume this is current. I personally think the top five current strongest would be um one would be Emu. I don't think there's a debate, especially after. By the way, this will be manga spoilers, so if you guys are anime watchers, I don't recommend watching this video. But yes, I think one should be Emu. That should be obvious. Two, I think is either Shanks. Yeah, I think Shanks is probably number two. It's either Shanks or Blackbeard, because with Blackbeard, we've learned recently that his father is Rocksteady Zebek. So now the potential for Blackbeard being top two, top one is like very high, even more so than before. So I think it's either Shanks or Blackbeard. And then four would probably be Akainu or Mihawk. I want to lean towards Akainu being four, and then five is Mihawk, most likely. But yeah, those are probably my top five. I can't think of anyone else like currently who's like top five strongest. Maybe one of the elders, like maybe Fit Garland, he could probably be in the top five. But we don't know much about him, so I think it's probably safer to just go with Mihawk. And then maybe a Kainu top five. Because I do think a Kainu should be a end of series opponent for Luffy. But we shall see. Anyways, let's get straight into the video.
So we talked.
Dragon probably is gonna be top five. So we could make the case that it's either Mihawk or Dragon. Okay, screw it. For right now, this is my top five: Emu, Shanks, Dragon, Akainu. Emu, Shanks, Dragon, Akainu, Mihawk. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that.
Talked about before, like the current strongest characters, strongest characters of the past and whatnot. But I want to talk about like who are the five strongest characters in One Piece right now. And I think there is a pretty clear-cut answer. At least there's like implications. We're gonna have to just be like, yep, it's because this guy is implied to be the strongest despite having no feats. Because at the top of the ladder in One Piece at this point in the story, there's just hype moments and aura for the top guys, right? Like, for example, Emu. Let's just get it out of the way. Emu is the strongest.
Yeah, Emu's number one right now. Yeah, 100%. Out of currently alive characters, yeah, he's definitely number one.
Yeah, like, just the things that Emu can do break the series. Like, they can do things that no other character can do, and then some. On top of that, like with the demonic magic, the Domi Reversi, the transformations, the implied devil fruit, whatever, if it even is a devil fruit they're doing, there's not even like a close second to Emu, right?
Yeah, I agree that it is possible that Emu doesn't have any devil fruit, and it's just using some sort of like magic. Because in early One Piece, Oda did implement, like before One Piece was published, he did like implement certain like magical-esque type of gimmicks, even before devil fruits were created. So it is interesting how crazy Emo seems to be based on what we've seen thus far. Almost like Luffy-esque, where Luffy is able to do whatever he wants. You could say the same thing about Emo, where it seems like Emo is capable of doing whatever it wants. So that's very intriguing. That would be a very interesting fight, Luffy versus Emo.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, like, I think the Rocks panel really helped Emu's portrayal as well in terms of power. Just the fact that Rox showed up and said, "Yeah, couldn't do anything. I'll be back." It's like, okay, that's speaking volume.
Yeah, I love that. That is one of my favorite moments in the series already. Probably, Rox. When he was established, how cool Rox is. You know how much of like a
Yeah, Rox is so cool. Like he is probably one of my favorite characters now too. And it's crazy because we only seen him for like what 3, 4 chapters. Like the impact this dude has done so far is mass. And yeah, that panel where he was just sitting there with a gun and Emo was just right there and he's like, "Yo, like what's up?" Like that's so cool. And then the fact that he knew that he can't do anything to Emo is also, it does speak volumes to Emo's strength, which I do think it's really cool to figure it out in that manner. That another top tier is like, yeah, I can't do anything to you, but hey, just you wait. When I come back, I will be ready. Like that's the energy I got from Rocks, almost like Madara esque, which is really cool.
Maverick Renegade he is. But even he was like, yeah, I'm the coolest guy in the world, but even I can't really do anything against you. So, but I'll be back.
And that's the guy that Roger and Garp quote teamed up against back at God Valley. You're telling me that Rox couldn't do anything? Because I remember for a while people were like, okay, if Roger really wanted to beat Emu, could Roger do it? But now it's like, I don't think he could. Like Prime Roger.
I mean, yeah, that pretty much confirms that Roger, even in his prime, is not capable of fighting Emu. And the thing is, I feel like Roger probably knew that. He probably knew that they were not capable of defeating the world government, which is why they didn't make any attempts. And I know people, they like, especially recently, they like to clown on the Roger pirates, saying that they're bums, that they didn't want to take on the world government. But you guys gotta understand that that's not their goal. Like maybe they wanted to, but they just couldn't because they know that they're not strong enough. And keep in mind that one of Luffy's greatest qualities, which is pointed out by Mihawk himself during Marineford, is that he's able to bring people together and make them their allies. Like that's such a big power boost that a lot of people seem to forget. And that's pretty much not only is Luffy gonna be like top one in the verse, I would assume, but another reason why he's gonna succeed, whereas Roger, Joy Boy, and others failed, is because he was able to gather so many people alongside him to help him win against the world government. So, I mean, yeah, that's just one of those things that people need to keep in mind. And that might also explain why Whitebeard was also threatened. It's not just because of Whitebeard himself, but notice how many people were under Whitebeard. Like, he had a whole fleet where I don't think no other emperor has, maybe aside from Big Mom. But Big Mom is different because those are her kids. It's her family, so it would make sense. But yeah.
No sickness, like I feel like he still wouldn't be able to beat Emu. At least not by himself. Like maybe if he teamed up with, I feel like if Roger teamed up with Rox, that'd be a different story. But like solo dolo, no. I don't even know if Luffy can.
No, I was gonna say it has to be end of series Gear 6 Luffy.
Gear 6 Luffy, yeah, maybe, yeah, Gear 6, and then I'm imagining like everybody who like is of the D clan like helping Luffy, like, come on, this is our destiny. We gotta beat this demon thing, and it's like, okay, like that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. So like we were saying, there's like no even close second at this point in the series.
Not right now.
So it's like, who are the other four?
You can make the case Shanks is close only because of that statement that the Giants made during Brogy, where they when MF used Joy Boy's hockey, they made a comment saying, "Oh wow, that's probably stronger than Shanks," or something like that, implying that Shanks's hockey is that mass, like it's around Joy Boy's level, which is insane to even think about. I mean, just that alone, the fact that that was even a comparison or in a discussion speaks volume to how strong Shanks is. So if there were to be a close second, it will probably be Shanks, but ultimately, I do think Emu should be stronger than Shanks, considering how much Emu was able to do. Because with Shanks, he just has hockey. And I know people are gonna be like, oh, but Kaido said hockey trends all, which, yes, it's true. But if you don't have Joy Boy level hockey, like actual like Joy Boy level hockey to where it makes Emu tremble in fear, like we saw at the end of Egghead, then there's no chance. And the thing is with Luffy, not only does Luffy have insane hockey, and I would assume it will be even greater, either by his training with Gaban or just by himself in the midst of battle. Not only is his hockey already really strong, but he also has a broken devil fruit. So like I feel like people often forget that. Yes, hockey transcends all, but imagine you have a devil fruit like Luffy's while also having Joy Boy level hockey. I mean, dude, you gotta be top one in the verse, right? Like there's just no debate.
Or strongest? Well, it's like, is Blackbeard among them?
Top 5, like off the top of my head, right? We didn't like do any research or like hard facts before this video, but I would say Blackbeard is definitely top 5. You know, you could say Blackbeard's a wimp, he's a coward, he always gets injured.
Yeah, I think he can be top 5, but I don't think right now he is because we haven't seen enough feats in terms of like hockey. Really, that's what Blackbeard's lacking is hockey feats. I need to see some hockey feats. But so far, I do think that he definitely got a boost because of his father. His father being that strong, it definitely speaks volume and it definitely boosts Blackbeard's potential. And you could say the same thing about people like Dragon and Luffy. We don't know how strong Dragon is, but because of how strong Luffy is currently, you could make the case that Dragon should be stronger than Luffy, considering typically, parents of the main characters, they end up being stronger. And then obviously end of series, they end up surpassing their parents. So you could make the case Dragon is also top 5 because of that. And also he's the son of Garp. And we know Garp is like insanely strong in his prime.
He doesn't look good in fights, and I agree. But you gotta admit, there's something about Blackbeard that we do not see. We do not see like his entire fight start to finish ever. Well, except for Whitebeard, but he kind of like came at the very end. Like Blackbeard has like the literal like off-screen no me. We cut away, Blackbeard just wins. Like there's something about this guy that we do not know of yet. He put the fear of God in Shanks. Shanks, to this very day, years later, still keeps tabs on Blackbeard, trying to take him down. So yeah, I do put a lot of hype on Blackbeard's name. So I'd say he's top 5. Where I had to rank him though, I'd say like maybe 3. I don't know if I would give him the number 2 spot right away though.
4, somewhere around there. And also, he's the only guy with 2 devil fruits, and both devil fruits are absolutely busted. Yeah, he just looks sloppy in his fights, but he gets the job done. On paper, he should be number 2, but it's just his track record. He just looks sloppy. That's where I would say Shanks, probably the second strongest.
It's funny, before this flashback, I'd probably argue that Shanks isn't second strongest, but now that we have like the Child of Destiny, Gojo ass line, it's like maybe.
That's what I'm saying exactly. I mentioned that in a previous One Piece video, where it was mentioned that like Shanks is like a prodigy, and yeah, like that alone, again, it speaks on to how strong Shanks really is. And keep in mind that he's not the one that's supposed to defeat Emu, so it's very interesting how Oda is building Shanks to be like this prophecy child, but overall, like Shanks decides not to become that, if that makes sense. Because right here in this panel, he just says, oh, I just want to live my life as a pirate with Buggy. Obviously, that didn't end up happening. But still, like, it's very interesting that it gives me Whitebeard vibes, where Whitebeard, he was declared as the strongest man in the world, and he's the man closest to getting the One Piece, yet he chose not to go for it. Because all he cared about was having a family. You can say the same thing about Shanks, to some extent.
He is, they're like, You're the child of destiny, Shanks. It's like, okay, now we're just, yeah, okay, I see it now. I guess Shanks would be second, but it's tough when I think about his family. It's like, okay, if Shanks is this strong, like his dad surely is maybe stronger or around that level, and then of course his twin brother, who
I don't think he's stronger, but I do think he should be probably either top 5 or definitely like top 10. Like, I do think he's supposed to be very strong, Garlic. And then same with Shamrock. I would assume Shamrock is supposed to be strong. However, I won't be surprised if Shamrock has a vendetta against Shanks because of maybe jealousy. Like he probably knows that Shanks is like a chosen one or like a destined child, and he probably feels like some sort of resentment towards it. I mean, we kind of saw little bits and pieces of how he thinks of Shanks, and you can tell that he definitely does not respect him from the way he was talking about him when he was talking to Loki. So, like, yeah, I feel like that would be very interesting to see their interactions.
who's older, it's like, like is Shanks really just that golden child and everybody else around him just pales in comparison? I think so. And then of course Oda, like, if we're talking about Shanks Glazers, Oda's the biggest one. Like he's like, yeah, if I was a character in One Piece, I'd be Shanks. Like that's crazy, man. I love it though. I love that energy. So yeah, I think Shanks would be second strongest. I think even in terms of like information, I feel like he's just up there in general. So I'd say Shanks number 2 is very fair. But funny enough, the number 2 spot in my head, no feats. I don't even like the character. I do not like Dragon, but I'd kind of want to put Dragon up there.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that you kind of have to because of his stature in the.
Yeah, I was gonna say you kind of have to because of what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to actively go up against the world government, something that nobody else has even dared to do. Even the emperors didn't want to do that. You know, aside from Whitebeard because they captured Ace and they were gonna execute it. But outside that, we haven't seen an emperor. And well, I guess you could make a case Rocks maybe probably made an attempt to go after the world government. And that might explain why the world government is actively trying to erase him from history. It's because he was probably close, or maybe he's done something so bad that it makes the world government look really bad. So there's that as well. But yeah, I feel like Dragon has to be up here. Even though I personally am kind of sick of Dragon, if I'm being honest, because he hasn't done anything yet. I really do hope that the wait was worth it, because so far, I feel like it's been dragged. It's been dragged on for too long, in my opinion.
Series implied to have the highest bounty, not because he's the strongest, but still pretty impressive. His implied devil fruit is busted. He's the father of Luffy. Come on, son of Garp, already guaranteed freak powerhouse.
We know that he wants to eventually fight Emu and take down the WG. So it's like, yeah, like I think when it comes to these characters too, I try to think about their future fights. Like Shanks, I don't know who Shanks is gonna fight. I guess his family, and he'll beat all of them. Blackbeard, he'll probably want to beat Shanks.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Like, it also depends on who they fight ultimately at the end of series. I guess if I were to guess so far from the list, Emu obviously would fight Luffy, and therefore Luffy would fight Emu. And then same with Blackbeard and Luffy, they would have to fight. Automatically, they're gonna have to be top 2. Akainu, like I said, is gonna have to fight Luffy. Automatically top 5. Like a lot of them are Luffy opponents. Funny enough, Shanks, I would assume he's probably gonna fight either his brother or his father. I think that'll probably be his fight. He might get a few licks in against Emu, maybe, or he might fight Blackbeard. I feel like those are the fights that Shanks might have. Mihawk obviously would be Zoro. But the thing is, will Zoro be top 5? I don't know. It's hard to say with certainty. Kobe, same thing. It's hard to tell unless end of series or like there's like a massive time skip and then maybe we see a clash between an end of series Luffy and then Kobe. Automatically, that'll probably put Kobe top 5. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It really is. Like, it's hard to say like who fights who.
Emu doesn't really have any competition they want to fight. Emu kind of, I feel like, is a free-for-all for everybody. But for Dragon specifically, the only person Dragon has to beat is just either Akainu for the Marines and Emu. And those are not...
I don't think he's fighting Akainu. I don't think that makes sense. I think he most likely would have to fight either Emu or one of the Holy Knights. Whether it's Shamrock, I think Shamrock versus Dragon would be interesting, or maybe the Elders. He could fight maybe. I think the perfect matchup for him would probably be Garling. If Shanks doesn't fight Garling, I could see Dragon fighting Garling, or he could fight Top Man, Workery, one of those guys, perhaps. Again, it's hard to tell who fights who.
Easy opponents to beat. So I'd say Dragon is just, if he's not in the top 5, I think it'd be a little bit disappointing. I think that's a good way to frame it. If Dragon's not up there, I'd be so sad.
I mean, I guess it's pretty competitive right now because I kind of had Dragon around 5 or 6 because of the Figureland family. I think they're all top 5.
No! Wait, what? You put Garlic and Shamrock and Shanks in there?
Yeah.
The only one I disagree with is Shamrock. I don't think Shamrock is gonna be top 5. He's definitely like top 10 most likely, but not top 5. I don't think so. But I could be wrong. Maybe he is top 5. Maybe he has insane Conqueror's Hockey just like Shanks. And I would assume just like Garling as well. I assume they all have Conqueror's Hockey. But we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, that's... wait, so Emu, Shanks, Shamrock or Garling, and Black Dude. That's a crazy lineup.
Yeah.
That family needs to be studied. Like, maybe we should bring back, like, selective breeding at that point. If they're really that powerful, I'd be like, please, Garling, lay your shit everywhere.
I don't know why this needs to be sold. Look at their credentials. Shanks is a Yonko, Garling is a Gorosei, and Holy Knights.
Because I'm thinking of this from like a game perspective, but I'm thinking about like
Yeah, like they're all like end of series opponents, which is insane. Like it's crazy how much wank Shanks' family gets, and Shanks himself.
the balancing. Like imagine like dropping a patch and it's like, yeah, by the way, every ADC gets like a 500% boost. It's like, wait, what? Like just this one family? What about the other lanes?
Yeah.
Like,
Oda messed up. He overpowered the Figureland family because he's like a stand for them.
yeah, I mean you're not wrong. I mean they have a whole movie just for Shanks, right? Where they drop the Figarland name anyways. Shanks still has an ability we've never seen, which is the observation canceling hockey. Which people have said that we've seen that in Film Red, we haven't. People are saying that's what he did to Green Bull. That's not confirmed. So it's like, yeah, Shanks canceling observation hockey is just insane in general. And it's like, yo, like, if he can do this...
They can all do it.
If they can't do it, they should be close to doing it. So it's like, yeah, that's still insane. Damn, that's so funny. I'm not gonna lie, at number 5, I have Mihawk.
Ah, you know what? I forgot about Mihawk. It's so competitive. You know what? I'll put Mihawk above Shamrock. I'll put him above Shamrock.
Yeah, I think that makes more sense. But like, I was gonna say, there's just too many top tiers in this series, bro. It's hard to tell who really is like top 5 worthy, like especially currently, because there's just so much going on. You could put the Elders there, you could put the Admirals there, mainly Akainu, but you get what I'm trying to say. You could put a lot of the Emperors that are alive. Like there's just so much. It's hard to tell who's top 5. Unless Oda just goes out of the blue, man. He's like, oh, yeah, guys, these are the top 5 strongest characters. There's no debate. This is who are the absolute strongest. That's it. That's like the only way. But I don't think Oda's ever going to reveal that. I don't think so.
I don't know about Garling, but I'll put him above Shamrock for sure. That's fair. I'm sorry. I forgot about Mihawk. I'm not on the Mihawk as a fraud train. I totally respect Mihawk. I do see him as a Yonko, essentially. Like, he's the Yonko, not Buggy.
The way I see it going down is like, I could see Shanks fighting his dad, and then as far as Shamrock goes, I would love it if Mihawk fought him. Like, dude, imagine the nasty one-liners he could drop on Shamrock. Like, oh, you're nothing like your brother. Your brother was way better with a sword than you are, you fraud. Like, oh, dude, Mihawk could slander them.
That would be really cool, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's pretty obvious who are the important characters. I'm not trying to slander Mihawk, by the way. It's just a fact. Like, if you guys looked at that panel where all the 12 characters were shown, Mihawk is not there. So I really don't think Mihawk is going to play a big role in the final saga, aside from him losing to Zoro. Which, I know that sounds disappointing, but I feel like that's what's gonna happen. I really do think we need to lower our expectations for Mihawk because I'm not gonna lie, it's not looking good for him. The fact that Oda went out of his way to show that panel of the 12 characters that are by far the most important in the series is insane. For crying out loud, Kuzan is on the list. Sabo was on the list. Kobe was on the list. Yet Mihawk was not there at all, which is crazy. So I personally do think people need to lower their expectations with Mihawk just in case. Obviously, I could be wrong. I want to be wrong because I do think that's kind of ridiculous that Mihawk he got glazed at the start of the series during Baratier just for him to not be that important, just for him to be a Zoro victim, basically. So yeah.
The hell out of Shamrock, and
We-
that's what I'm all about.
We do need like a oh my god top tier swordsman to lose to Mihawk because Mihawk doesn't have any like big wins to like I would love to ask.
That's facts, bro. If he beats Shamrock decisively with like no difficulty, then that will 100% solidify him as the greatest swordsman ever. But we haven't seen anything like that, which is a shame. So again, we'll see.
Skoda. Why is Mihawk said to be the world's strongest swordsman? What? Why?
It's gonna be like Sukuna. I could see them being like, and by the way, Dragon 50 years ago destroyed like the 5 generals of the East.
Yeah.
Mihawk took every swordsman on the East, like the West Blue. It's like we're gonna get something silly like that.
No, I mean he would. He would. Yeah, he beat that man 15 years ago who was the best swordsman in the world.
Yeah, this man had a bounty of 5 billion.
Yeah.
Mihawk took him down. Or, oh, Dragon, why did you leave the Marines? It's because he had a crazy battle against John.
And his name is spelled Jawn.
Yeah, Jawn. John the Maniac. He had a bounty of 3 billion. Dragon took him down, and then he said, I'm leaving the Marines. There's no justice here. Because John was fighting for Johnstice.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm going to Amazon Lily.
Yeah. So is that's our top 5 then, right?
Well, that's the top 7. But yeah, we'll put Shamrock out, bring Mihawk in.
I like that we didn't have Luffy on this list. I'm happy about that.
He's top 10, but not top 5.
I don't like putting Luffy in the top 5 right now, just because I feel like there's still room for Luffy to.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's still room for him to grow, and really the main thing that's holding him back is his stamina issue. That stamina issue is kicking his butt. Like if that wasn't an issue, he would probably be top 1. Imagine Gear 5th with no limitations, no stamina problems, and he's just able to use Gear 5th constantly with no breaks. Like he's definitely top 1. He can just do whatever he wants at that point. So yeah. But overall, it seems like we all agree with the same list. At least based on the characters that we name dropped.
Bro, Luffy not being the strongest of the verse, I think is a good thing because that means he can like train, he can struggle in fights, he can grow, learn more about his fruit. I think it's always good when the MCs are not there yet. End of story, Luffy, yeah, sure, top 1. But right now, nah.
Yeah, I mean, he's. I think we're gonna see him struggle soon in this arc.
I hope so. I hope Emu doesn't just get pushed.
I think so too. I think we might see him struggle against Emu possessing Gunko. But yeah, cool video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and you guys let me know your thoughts down below. Who do you think is the top 5 strongest characters in One Piece currently? So we're not counting like legends from the past and stuff, aside from Emu, because Emu is still alive. But yeah, take care and see you guys next time.